Well, hello there, and welcome to this online mentorship session again. I'm so glad that we get to connect on this platform every Friday. I literally look forward to Fridays, and I'm so happy that we are all connecting right now. We had to skip last Friday because we traveled and had a meeting somewhere else, but we're back today, and it's sure going to be amazing, an amazing time here. I know that many of us, especially those of us who are returning viewers on this platform, always anticipate these meetings, but much more because of the subject of discussion today. I know that it's intriguing, I know that it's life changing, and I want to promise you that it's going to be educative and informative today. Trust me, you're going to learn a lot. So I want you to fasten your seatbelts and get ready. Get your notepads ready because you're going to take down a lot of things today. So I want you to call your friends, your family members, colleagues, superiors, everybody around you. Gather them around and let them know we are live, and get them to connect from around the world. Okay, they can connect or watch by YouTube or by Facebook. We are live on both platforms, so whichever one is convenient with you, please do well to watch on the platform that is most suitable for you. So I welcome you once again, and it's going to be an amazing time today. God bless you. Please do well to hit the like button and immediately begin to share this link to everyone around you. Share the link of this broadcast to everyone around you and make them know that we are live right now. I mean, as you share it, call them and let them know we are live now and they can't afford to miss it. So do that, and we'll get started right away. Hit the like button and join me. Share with as many as you can. It's so good to be here again. So do that. If you're watching by YouTube and this is your first time, I'd like you to subscribe. If you're watching by Facebook, I'd like you to follow our community on Facebook and be a part of what we're doing on that platform. If this is your first time watching by YouTube, please do well to subscribe on that channel. It promises amazing content such as this that will really bless you. So I want you to do that. We're going to take about 2 minutes to do that, and by 20 minutes past the hour of 7 we are going to begin. Now, I know the timing is different for those watching from other time zones, other nations, but we going to do well to be swift with the time and just make sure that we gain everything that we expected. So please do that, and we will get back into the program and then continue. Once again, welcome to online mentorship session. I'm so glad you are here, and I know it's going to really be life-changing today. Thank you so much. So do that. This is Philomena Simon. Says, my first time to watch you. I am in Yola, Adamawa State. Good evening, Philomena. And I believe that you're doing well. Thank you for joining us, and it's going to be an amazing moment with you on the set. And quite a number of people is here. Quite a number of people we have here. Dominic from Ghana. It's good to have you, Dominic, again. It's good to have you. It's been a while. It's really been a while. Obina joining from Delta State. John from the FCT here in Nigeria. And so many more. I sincerely apologize for my voice. Looks like I caught a cold. Looks like I caught a cold recently. And trying to recover. But I'm fine, and we can get on with the meeting today. This is Ijadwa Matthias, watching live from Asokoro, Abuja. It's good to have you on set with us today, all the way from Abuja. We seem to have a number of people watching from Abuja, and I want to welcome everyone watching from the Federal Capital Territory here in Nigeria, and from other nations, from Ghana, and many more coming on set. So if you have liked this video and you are done sharing, I'd like you to engage with me at the comment section, the live chat session. Let me know where you're watching from. And I also want you to know that this program is largely interactive. So at any point, feel free to make your comments. Make sure your comments are respectful and are connected to what we are doing. Also, be free to type your questions at any time, whether it's about what we are discussing right now or what we have discussed in the past, or just simply about anything you may need clarity on. And we'll do well to attend to that. Okay. This one says, good evening, Apostle. We missed you last Sunday. I miss you too. Conrad, all the way from Washington. It's good to see you again, and thank you because you're live with us, Conrad. Thank you. How is Washington? When was the last time you were around the White House? Huh? I think in Washington you can walk to the front of the White House and just have a view of it. You can't try that in Nigeria. Nobody will allow you to go to Aso Rock. Watching from our beautiful state of Borno, of course. Borno State, where God lives, and from there visits other people and other places. Debao says, good evening, Apostle, and good to get in touch again, watching from Exeter in UK. God bless you, sir. It's good to have you around, and so many more coming. I can't wait for us to get into a subject of discussion. Now, we always start by praying, and that's what we'll do, because we are people of faith and we believe that God is the source of all wisdom. And we pray to depend on His wisdom for every discussion that we have on this platform. Conrad says, Washington, D.C. is good. I was there about 5 months ago. He means the White House. You were in front of the White House. Do they allow you take pictures in front of the White House? I think I need to go to the United States someday. You know, it's just that the United States, getting their visa is like sitting for what's that hard exams you write. Their visa is as It's as scarce as plantain. You don't get to see around. Okay, so let's begin by prayers, or with prayers. Father, thank you for everyone connecting right now from across the world, different nations, different cities. And we are gathered on this platform with one goal, so that we will be well informed, well transformed, exposed to your wisdom and your knowledge. So I ask that you give each one understanding, especially on the subject being discussed. Help us to find a common ground together. Broaden our horizon by the things that we will learn, and transform us to become objects and agents of transformation in our world, beginning from our own lives. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, building strategic relationships. That's what we're talking about today. Building strategic relationships, and we'll talk about it today and maybe next Friday. We want to exhaust it and see how far we can go. And I know this is one very amazing subject of discussion. As a matter of fact, the issues around relationships concerns every individual. As long as you are alive and you are a living being or a living thing, it's a necessity for you to study about the science of relationships. It's very important. We relate with everything around us, okay? We relate with our natural environment. We relate with our social environment, the people, the relationships around us. We relate with resources. We relate with the spiritual world, all right, especially for those who are people of faith. One way or the other, we connect with everything around us. And so I think it is safe to say that life revolves around relationships. Life on earth revolves around relationships. It's very, very important to know that. I always tell people that relationships are the currencies of destiny. Relationships are the currency of destiny. Just like you use a currency to transact, and there are some currencies that you can find almost anywhere in the world. For instance, the American dollar. Most countries you go to, you can transact using the dollar. All right. And just like you cannot engage in any commercial activity without the use of currency, it is difficult to do anything in this life without relationships. Flash Vida, that's the person's username, says, "Good evening, everyone. I'm Vida, connecting from Jos, Plateau State." Thank you so much, Vida, for being on this platform with us. So I'd like to know if you are male or female. I'd like to know if you are male or female, because we can't really trace from your name. Conrad says, yes, they let you take pictures in front of the White House. Wow! I think you have to take a picture one of these days, Conrad, in front of the White House, and please send it to me. All right, my email is always going to be available on the chat. All right, I want to see the most secured building in the world, as they say. So like I said, relationships are the currencies of destiny. Here's another fun fact you need to know about relationships. Success is a collection of relationships. You cannot do it alone. Success in this life is a collection of relationships. You need relationships to succeed. You need people. You need resources. You need to connect with something to be something. All right? In fact, even in discovering who you are, it is not possible to make that discovery alone. No, it's your assignment to discover your original and unique identity, but it's not left to you alone. All right? There's got to be the input of people, of environments, of locations, of situations, of circumstances surrounding you, of resources to discover who you really are. That's why relationships are very, very important. And I want us to really discuss around this subject, looking at it from one perspective. Today, building strategic relationships. So it's one thing for us to understand the importance of relationships in life, but it's also another thing to understand what we mean by strategic relationships. Sorry, as we're talking, I'm looking at the chat, all right? And maybe we'll be flipping it from YouTube to Facebook. She says, Princess and Joshua said to also say they are watching. All right. Hello, Princess. I miss you. Oh, Flash Vida says, Flashy Vida. I think it's Flashy Vida, right? I'm a girl. You shared link with me yesterday on Facebook. Thank you, sir. Really? Okay. God bless you, Flashy Vida. And I'm sure you will not regret connecting. Right. Penelope Charlie says, greetings, man of God, watching you from Zambia. God bless you, Penelope. Or Penny. Let me call you Penny. Okay. Mrs. Christiana says, no one is an island. That's very true. So it's one thing for you to know the importance of relationship as touching life and destiny, but it's also another thing to understand what strategic relationships are. When you say relationship is strategic, it means it is a relationship entered into deliberately on purpose. And strategic relationships also has to do with, a relationship that happens at a particular timing in the life of an individual for a particular purpose. I believe that that's what makes something strategic, when it's allocated to a particular time and for a particular purpose. It becomes strategic. For instance, your relationship with your teacher is important for you to learn and to pass an exam at the current level of academic pursuit. Godia is watching from Katsina. Hello, Godia. How are you? And God bless those people pressing the love emojis. Amen. Look at that huge smiley face there. I'm not sure that's my face. All right. You need to, strategic relationships are relationships that are necessary at a particular time for a particular purpose in your life. Your relationship with your coach, your relationship, that's if you're an athlete, your relationship with your mentor, your relationship with your father or your mother, your parents, your relationship with your colleagues and friends. These are important relationships entered into at a particular time of your life or existence and for a particular purpose. It makes it strategic. It means that this relationship will play a role in the fulfillment of your purpose, in the actualizing of your destiny. They play a major role. I want to see how to build strategic relationships. Now, I want you to listen to this. Every strategic relationship in your life, will be classified as one amongst these three. Every strategic relationship in your life will be classified as one amongst these three. Number one, there are those who meet you for a moment, or there are those who you meet or encounter for a moment. Those relationships are momentary. Most times they happen by a coincidence, or they happen by what those of us of faith call divine timing. Number two, there are relationships that you connect with seasonally. Seasonal relationships. Seasonal relationships. Seasonal relationships. And then number three, there are long-term or lifetime relationships. Long-term or lifetime relationships. Number one, I said there are momentary relationships. Number two, there are seasonal relationships. And number three, there are long-term or lifetime relationships. So let me break it down to us. Momentary relationships are relationships that we connect with in a moment of time. Like I said, they can happen as a coincidence, or what those of us of faith will call divine timing. And some other people will believe that the universe just orchestrated that you met with this person at that given time. But the thing with these relationships are they last only for a moment. For instance, you are traveling on a bus or by plane or on a train. There will be people you will meet there, and you are meeting them, most of them, for the first time, and you may only be able to meet them all through that period, okay? All through the time of the flight, maybe an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, and then you may never get to see them again. Or if it's a bus ride, maybe 2, 3, 4, 8 hours or more. Or on the train. Or imagine going to a public place and you get to meet them. These are momentary relationships, okay? Now, in as much as the timing for these relationships are brief, actions engaged at the time of connecting with these relationships can affect you long term, or can even affect you for life. For instance, I pray that nobody encounters this. Imagine being robbed. Meeting an armed robber is a momentary relationship, but it can have great impact or grave consequences on your life. Yeah. There are people who have had traumatic experience just once, and it has caused severe damage to their souls, to their emotions. Many people are suffering today, or many people are enjoying today, because of certain momentary relationships that they encountered. And that's the reason why, regardless of the fact that the timing is short, you need to be very careful what happens within that moment. It can be destiny defining, it can be destiny altering, it can be for life. Some people have also been fortunate to meet very kind people in a moment. In fact, so kind that they will say, I met an angel. I always believe and look forward to you meeting those kinds of people. And it's also good to know that you too can be of such to someone. Those are momentary relationships. Then there are seasonal relationships. You are with a person for a season. Maybe classmates studying a particular course, running a master's program together, or doing a thesis, a PhD thesis together. You are going to be with them for a while. 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. It's a season in your life, and you are going to be with these people. And all through that season you are with these people, based on the actions and reactions exchanged between the both of you, it will go a long way to affect and to redefine your existence as well as your possibilities, both for you and for theirs. And that's the thing with relationships. They are mutual, okay? It affects you and affects the other person at the same time. It's like a cycle of actions, a cycle of impact. that can happen. All right. You meet a coach in a season, maybe you're training as an athlete, or you meet a mentor. These are really, really important. But then there are relationships you meet that are long-term or lifetime. For instance, friends, your life partner, your spouse. Some of us who are people of faith believe in what is referred to as spiritual parents, fathers or mothers. There are some mentors too that you can relate with for a long time or even for life. Okay? These are very strategic relationships because it affects the timing and the life and existence of an individual. Very, very important. But today we are looking at what I call the uncommon commodity called trust. It is important, of course, for us to know the things that make for building a strategic relationship. For you to be able to keep certain people around your life, there are qualities, there are traits, there are things you must imbibe. There is a principle to sustaining relationships. I think it is easier to make friends than to keep friends. All right? Many of you may want to read the book How to Win Friends and How to Influence People by Dale Carnegie and several other books on relationships. I think I'm going to write a book on relationships too. Not so much is written around that. And I think I'm going to write a book on relationships because they are very, very important part of a man's life and destiny. So there are rules of engagement. There are principles to sustaining thriving relationships. When you know that the people around you go a long way to affect who you will become and who you are, it's important to have the wisdom and the principles by which you can sustain these relationships. There is a character and an attitude to be able to build consistent relationships. One of it is what we are dealing with today, and it's called trust. Trust. The uncommon commodity called trust. Let's check our Facebook and see. Want to look at the comments there. Someone once said that who you are now and who you will be in 5 years' time is going to depend largely on two things amongst many. Number one, the books you read. Number two, the friends you keep. And it's true. Because both are primary sources of information that come into your life and affect your existence. Christiana says traits and principalities, not principalities, please, Christiana. Principles. Trust. We live in a world now where wickedness and evil and selfishness is on the rise. We live in a world that is largely affected by inconsistencies. Starting is not difficult, but sustainability is quite an uncommon commodity in our world. And we want to know how to be able to keep strategic, important relationships in our lives. Don't fight to keep momentary relationships as though they were going to be long-term or lifetime. And don't treat a seasonal relationship as a momentary relationship. No. Just because relationships are important doesn't mean you should go around collecting the number of everybody. No. That's once you give an individual a pep talk about the importance of relationship, after that talk, they go around collecting everybody's number. No. There are some people that should be far from you. Don't allow everybody into your social space, okay? You must ensure that they have the same or similar values as you, and you must see the role that they are coming to play in your life, as well as the role that you will play in their life. It is said that a man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. It is also said that a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for the day of adversity. So one of the most important commodities, one of the most important traits or necessities to building strategic relationships, to building sustainable strategic relationship, is trust. I call it an uncommon commodity because it's difficult to trust people these days. And I know that everybody listening to me right now, watching me right now, agrees to a large extent with what I'm saying. I didn't say it's impossible, I said it is difficult. Somebody asks a question now. If trust is uncommon commodity, then what does Jeremiah mean when he say whoa? So I think Lucy, she's asking, maybe you could put the scriptural reference that you are talking about, Lucy, so that we can go to it. Lucy still agrees with me. It's very difficult to trust, really. It's uncommon doesn't mean that you can't find it. It's just that it is scarce, it is rare. What is trust? Let's look at the dictionary meaning for trust. I didn't say trust wallet, or those people who are already going to all of these fintech and foreign exchange people. Trust is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of something or someone. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of something or someone. Trust means reliance on the integrity, strength, ability, or surety of a person or thing. Relying on something. When something is reliable, that's what it means. When something has an antecedent of being consistent, of being faithful, you can rely on it. That tells you that for you to trust people, you need a proof of their reliability, of their integrity. For you to trust people, you need a proof, a practical experience of their consistency and faithfulness. Many times I feel that we mix and we seem not to understand that there's a difference between trust and love. If somebody says I love you, is different from somebody saying I trust you. See, you can trust someone you don't love, but it's difficult to love someone you don't trust. Let me say it again. You can trust someone you don't love, but it's difficult to love someone that you don't trust. Very important to know. Love is unconditional. Love is a gift. And we are meant to love one another. In fact, for peaceful coexistence amongst human beings within a particular geographical space, love must exist. Love is the force that breaks down our boundaries. It breaks down our division based on prejudice or sentiment. Love helps you to see people as human beings and it takes off anything that limits them or anything that divides us. Love is unconditional. And I think you don't need much to love a person. However, if you are going to enter into a definite relationship with someone you love, it will no longer be built on love alone. It will now be built on trust. The moment you start engaging commitment in a relationship, then it has to be built on trust. For instance, if two people meet and fall in love with each other, you would say that they have an emotional attachment with one another. That's fine. But the moment they make the commitment of marriage to stay and live together forever, or as they say, till death do us part, that commitment will be supported by trust. Don't make a commitment to someone if you don't trust that person. And wait till people have earned, or wait till you have earned the trust of people before making promises to them. Very important. Put me on Facebook. Let me see. Let me just go through some of the comments. So there's a huge difference between love and trust. Margaret says, oh, go down. Sure, sir. Okay. Restinas Taraji. Wow, that's an amazing name. Please let me know where you are from. Restina Taraji says, people can't be trusted nowadays. Not all people. Some people can be trusted. It's an uncommon commodity. It's not an invisible commodity. David said, trust wallet. That's how you know all these financial people. Yes, I see it finds following. That's so great. So, build your relationships with people on trust. Love can attract people to your life. Love can connect you with people. And love also has its role in keeping you connected. But for that relationship to grow, it must also be built on trust. You need to learn to trust people. You need to learn to allow people earn your trust. And you also need to earn people's trust. Okay? In fact, it is said that if we don't have trust in a relationship, we don't have anything. So let's look at Lucy Oyima's question from the Holy Bible in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. And what was the question she asked again? I think I know that scripture. Check the question she asked again. She said, okay, you need to go down. She said, if trust is uncommon commodity, then what does Jeremiah mean when he say woe? Okay, so Jeremiah 17, verse 5, she brought a scriptural passage from the Holy Bible. It says, thus says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart departs from the Lord. Now, in context of that scripture, God is teaching his people that it is better to trust in God to help you than to trust in man. In this perspective, it's saying like depending on a higher power, submitting to a higher power for help. That it is better to trust in God, who has credence, who has antecedents, who has credibility, who has integrity, than to trust in a man or depend in a man to help you when there is God. In other words, if you were to choose between the option of God and a man, it's saying connect with the divine more. All right? But bringing this subject in practical discussion, you can trust people. You can build trust with people. I mean, in those days, there was a bank, an old generation bank in Nigeria. I think they are still existing. They call them Union Bank. And their mantra were 3 words: Union Bank, big, strong, reliable. All right. There was even a bank that was liquidated many years ago, All States Trust Bank. I think it was a big thing in the early 2000s. But even though they said they were the trust of all states, they were liquidated. All right. So Lucy, I believe you understand now. Trust is very important for any thriving strategic relationship. Why is it difficult to trust people? There are many reasons why it's difficult to trust people. So, number one, because of past experiences, past negative experiences. Certain people have been defrauded by others. Certain people have been taken advantage of by others. Certain people have been failed by others. Now, while it is good to learn from the experiences of the past, it can also be dangerous if you allow your past experiences, especially those ones that are negative, if you allow them to affect you and to determine your mentality about the present and the future. It can be really dangerous, okay? So regardless of the fact that you had a fallout with somebody in the past, or you were defrauded, or you were taken advantage of, or someone betrayed your trust, always know that for such people, there are others that you can trust. There are others that you can still trust. You need to heal from that past experience and give an opportunity for those in the present to trust you. There are still other reasons for why it's difficult for people to trust and each other. Traumatic experiences. Some people have been traumatized, and the object of their trauma maybe is a particular gender, and because of that it becomes difficult for them. For instance, think of a lady who has gone into a romantic relationship with 3 different guys, and all those relationships failed. It will be difficult for that lady to trust men. In fact, at that point, it's easy for her to say all men are the same. And I want to tell everybody, every lady that is watching right now, that statement is a huge lie. In fact, that's the statement that has destroyed many people. All men are not the same. If you say all men are the same, it means that the one talking to you is the same with the one that defrauded you, or your father is the same with others. It's not true. Don't you ever generalize failure. No. Don't you ever generalize failure. Don't use one person's mistake to bring a capital or corporate punishment on others. No. Sometimes it could be a person of the same gender that can bring you healing from a trauma caused by somebody of the same gender. And that's something about trust that we'll need to understand. There are 2 sides of trust. At the initial stage, there is a part of trust that is a gift. You give people an opportunity to earn your trust. You give people an opportunity to prove that they can be relied upon, to prove that they have integrity, to prove that they can deliver at their word. That is the side of trust that is a gift. You give them an opportunity to prove themselves. That's why you write exams and interviews before you get a job. Okay? That's why, in fact, destiny is so tailor-made for all of us that you don't get to start with the big bang or the big bang opportunities at the beginning. No. You start out with smaller opportunities and then prove yourself before bigger opportunities come. So there's one side of trust that is a gift that is given, an opportunity that you give to people, and you must learn to give people an opportunity to prove themselves. Otherwise, you will not be able to have proof of their trust or your trust in them. Then there is the other side of trust that is earned. It's an opportunity that can be given as a gift, But then, especially when you are talking about big issues or issues that are life applicable, issues that will affect your life or determine your destiny at a long run, let them earn it. You can't give a ₦1 billion contract to a construction company that's just starting out. No way. And say, no, I'm giving them an opportunity to prove. No. They should have an antecedent. They should be coming from somewhere. You don't take $1 million and give to somebody who has never seen $1,000 before. No. I mean, even the way life treats us tells us that these things are stage by stage. So back to the reasons why it's difficult for us to trust people. Another reason is, generic, what's the word I use now? When we generalize failure. Somebody hurt you and then you generalize it and say, oh, everybody's like this from this tribe, everybody's like this from this nationality, everybody's like this. Okay? Just like somebody saying in America, I can't come to Nigeria because Nigeria is insecure. Is there anywhere that is insecure? It's not insecure. Every nation is struggling with insecurity at different levels. I mean, Charlie Kirk was shot, was murdered just a few days ago. Okay? So it's important to always give people opportunity to earn your trust. Life is built on facts. And that's the reason why you need proof that you can trust people. And so present them with the opportunity to earn your trust. Now, there are many things that people give to us as a symbol of their trust in us. If people give you information about their life, they are entrusting their life to you. They are entrusting their secrets to you. Information about their bank transactions, their bank cards, the bank details, their financial dealings, their secrets, their relationships. When people talk to you about themselves, they are entrusting you with the information about their life. What do you do with the information that people give to you? And this is where we have a lot of problem in relationships. There's nothing wrong in sharing about yourself with somebody, but it's what that person does with your information that matters. And that is the reason why it is necessary for you to be sure of what you tell others about yourself. Sometimes I wish human beings don't have mouths. I think the world would be a safer place. Months ago we talked about taming the tongue. I wish every human being could not talk. I think the world would be a safer place. Words are very powerful. They have caused divisions in long relationships. Long relationships have been broken apart. Governments pitched against each other. Businesses becoming rivals against each other. Because informations are not well managed. You see, when people get to trust you, when people entrust their life with you, you must be a steward to protect their interest. When people entrust their life to you, you must be a steward to protect their interest. And you yourself must be careful to apply wisdom and discretion in knowing the informations you give about yourself. Yeah, the wisdom that controls informations about you to people is called discretion. Sadia says, is it wise to give someone that has broken your trust a chance to earn it back? It depends on the antecedent. If the person has been reliable for a long time and they failed once, give them an opportunity. Again. But if it's the first time you're meeting them and they failed you, or they have failed in recent times, then I think it's time for you to pull back. Sadia, I hope that answers your question. Rahima says, I wish my tailor is here. Actually, I don't know how it is in America or in Ghana, but fashion designers, tailors, they are amazing in Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth. They will tell you, come back so day. You can go back there and not even see your clothes. I suffered from a particular tailor. Oh God, thank God, God has delivered me. You see, it's trust. You see that's why I said trust is everything in relationships, even financial transactions, commercial engagements. It's all about trust. As it is said in the world, your word is your bond. I wish people could treat their word as their identity. When you speak, your words are you. If you tell people, I will do this by this time, do your best, except with the inevitability of, surrounding situations. Do your best to keep your word. And apologize ahead of time if you're not able to. I try my best to do that. Really try my best to do that again and again. Oh, Vida says, so how long does it take to trust someone? Well, it depends on what kind of relationship you want to build with a person. Remember, I said there are momentary relationships, seasonal relationships, or long-term relationships. So it depends on how long or what kind of relationship you want to build. Now, trusting someone just because you want to give people opportunity to be trusted doesn't mean you should tempt them. Testing people is different from tempting people. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You can't put a goat close to a lion and say, I want to trust the lion to see if he has self-control. No, he will show you that he's hungry. You don't do that. Or imagine a young man saying, I want the lady to trust me, so let her come and stay in my house. And he's referring to a lady who is not his wife. No. When you finish eating and cleaning your mouth, you understand what it is. So sometimes I feel that we also tempt people, and we shouldn't do that. Give them an opportunity. It's good to test, but not to tempt. And testing simply means giving them an opportunity to prove that they can be trusted. Ijadwa says, sir, in a relationship, some people are only receivers. They don't offer anything. They expect calls, checking on them, and even visit them. But they can't do even one of these. What will you do in such situations? Well, you have your options, Jadwa. You can decide to back out. Who doesn't get tired of a receiver? Who doesn't give? Or, if there are other good aspects of that person, even though they are receivers, keep doing for them. Keep giving to them. If you have found other aspects of their life that is good and that can be helpful to you, then tolerate their receiving, in quotes, attitude, and then keep doing to them. It will help you earn their trust, and it keeps you around their space and gives you enough time to help them improve. Because you see, communication is also important in relationship. We'll talk about communication. We're talking about trust today, but we'll also talk about communication in time to come. Sometimes you need to be able to communicate with people to be sure. All right? Some of them do those things not knowing, maybe out of their orientation. Some of them, that's the orientation they grew up with, receiving always. Some of them were pampered. They never knew that they need to make commitments. And you need to be able to commit or communicate with them if you want to go far with them. So it could be one of these options. Jadwa. Keziah say tester. Dominic says it's the same in Ghana. Oh, you mean tailors? They are the same in Ghana too. I'm sure there's a spirit that connects all tailors. I mean, I see everybody laughing here now. And maybe a tailor is watching us now, just quietly. The Bible says trust is fragile. Once broken, it's difficult to amend without the lines of breakage being visible. That's true. Even if you are able to amend it, the lines will be visible. But that's where love comes in. If that person has earned your trust over time and they falter once, if they still love you, then let your love for them help to lubricate the damage that was caused by their breaking your trust. Because sometimes it's bad to write off a person for just one failure. That's where forgiveness comes in. That's why love too is also an adhesive force. I mean, you give them opportunity to be trusted again. Sometimes people break your trust in them because of their humanity. That's also something we must remember. In as much as it is good to build your relationship with people based on trust, remember that they are human beings. They are humans. And that imperfection will come in sooner or later. I see a lot of comments today. Is it because we're talking about trust? Dominic says, please, yes, I'm talking about tailors. Mo Akkad says, to trust a tailor is on another level. Rahima says, sir, in a relationship where the balance of value seems unequal, such as between a mentor and a mentee, how can one sustain it and build genuine trust? Now, what makes a person a mentor to you is that you admire not only the fact that they can contribute immense knowledge to your life, but also that you admire their value system. I mean, you look at someone, you see their value system, and you see a lot of things that you would love to emulate after. That's what connects you with them as your mentor. That's why I believe it's almost impossible for you to have a mentor who has, not value system now, the balance of value. You mean value like how how they attach to your worth? Maybe Rahimat, you should explain that phrase, balance of value, because you could talk about value there as how the person views your worth to that person, or you can talk about value as in value system, morality, and all of that. So Rahimat, you may need to explain that question very well for me, please. Vida says it's not all of us, Taylor. I beg. You see, I said it. A tailor was watching. So Vida, can I trust you? Put your answer in the comment section. Vida is a tailor and a fashion designer. Vida, can I trust you? So Tenino says, please sir, how do you balance openness with caution when building trust with people? It's like opening a tap with water. You open it gradually. If you're opening up to people, open gradually. Like I said, trust, one end of trust is like an opportunity you give people to prove themselves. So test them with little informations and see what they do with it. Informations that you know that when leaked may not really affect you, as it were. And that's the reason why I advise people, if you are talking with people, even if it's in private, say things you know you can defend in public. Because as they say, even the world's happiest. And I mean, it's written in the Holy Bible in Ecclesiastes that even the birds can pick up your whispers. See? Rahimat says, sir, in a relationship where the other person clearly brings more to the table, like that of a mentor and a mentee, how can one sustain the relationship and earn lasting trust? Okay, you mean the mentor is the one bringing more to the table? What is the role of a mentor in a relationship? And what's the role of a mentee or prodigy? The role of a mentor is to teach, to train, to guide, to impart, to nurture. The role of a mentor is to follow, to absorb, to grow, to be grateful. So Rahima, it's all about both people knowing their roles and working according to their roles. See, this life is a give and take thing, what we call the law of sowing and reaping, or the law of seed and harvest. That's the cycle that exists between a mentor and a mentee. A mentor imparts upon the mentee, and a mentee allows what is imparted on him or her to manifest. The growth of that mentee brings joy and pleasure to the mentor. And then someday the mentee can grow to a point where they can also be appreciative of the impact of the mentor. And appreciation can happen in many ways, like speaking highly of the person, like making useful or notable recommendations of the person, like even giving to the person. So Rahimat, let me know if this has helped you. Vida says, yes sir, trust me with your fabrics. Okay, Vida, I'm going to chat you up after now and try you. And if you feel me, all right, let's check Facebook to see if we have. Thank you, sir. Tanino says, thank you, sir. Emphasis on things we can defend in public. Very true. Very true. That's why in America, issues of national security is classified. The president will not leak it out, even to the legislators. They say it's classified based on trust. Christiana said, tailors can lie. I think you're speaking by experience, man. He said the guy will show you that body no be wood. Okay, she meant that, you know, a gentleman bringing a lady to stay in his house in the She said, yes, so I can mention one tailor. Watch. So over and above everything, we must understand that human beings are imperfect. Human beings carry inconsistent nature. It's not an excuse for people to hurt you. But you need to consider that so you're not disappointed when people break your trust in them. And you too learn to forgive yourself when people lose their trust in you. Raima says, yes, I understand now. Following a mentor with sincerity and obedience is already a way of building trust. Yes. Confidentiality. We need to be confidential about the people around your life. You see, especially those relationships that are long-term or lifetime. Especially those relationships that are greatly helpful to you. Do your best to protect. You need to learn to protect your relationships. Protect the people that you love. Keep their privacy. Keep their information secret. Knowledge is exciting. I mean, we can know so much and want to say to somebody. And you know this funny thing that people will do. Don't tell anybody that I told you. Don't tell them you are already in trouble. He has already told somebody. He told another person not to tell anybody, and that person will tell another person, and before you know it will go around. By the time it gets to you, it's already in the open. And listen, in life, we are told to do to others what we want them to do to you. Every person I know will do anything to have a confidence as a friend. Let me tell you the truth. There are a set of people that are expensive and hard to find. In fact, rich and wealthy people will do anything to keep them around. They are called confidant. People who are secretive, people who can close their mouth. Now, there are certain informations you know about a person. I want to balance this. There are certain informations you know about a person who is close to you, who keeping quiet about it will not help that person. For instance, if that person has an addiction problem, or that person has an issue of morality, and you know that they need help, keeping quiet about it will not help them. If somebody is a thief, an armed robber, and you are quiet about it, you're still not helping that person. But then you need to know how to get help for them. You need to know the appropriate individuals to look to, or the places to look to help them. Look for someone that person respects or that person trusts. Go to them and say, this person I know has been struggling with this or that, and they need help. You'll be saving the life of that individual. But other than that, if it's just an information about the person, please keep it to yourself. I'm telling you the truth, you can earn your way to the heart of great men, wealthy men, by just trust. I know somebody who works for a very important figure in our country, Nigeria. Very important figure. And when that person was promoted to that position, he went and brought a friend of his, an old man. They were schoolmates together, and created a special advisor position, which did not exist around his office. But he created it just for one thing. He needed someone he could trust around him. I think there's a place in Proverbs that says, a man who has grace on his lips and who, let me look for it, the king shall be his friend. I'm going to look for that part. Maybe I'll close with it. Are there more questions? Woo! Seeing quite a number of them. So we'll just go over them one after the other. Yes, Proverbs 22:11. He that loves pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. So please, let's not hit the tailors too much, I beg. One of them has repented on behalf of the others, and has also said that all tailors are not the same, and it's true. There are some tailors that deliver. Yes, just that some of those ones are expensive. Okay. Dominic says, an insightful teaching and information. Eternal emotion. Sir, what should the relationship between a spiritual father and a spiritual daughter look like in order to nurture growth and accountability while also maintaining respect and healthy boundaries? Well, both should be, that's a very intimate relationship, and both should be open to one another and should be confidential about each other. Be open to one another and be confidential about each other. That's all I can say. Ishaku says, good evening, sir. Normally, the older you get, the few people around you. Trust is built. That's true. You build trust over time. But not necessarily. The older you get, the few people around you. Maybe the few people you can trust. That's very correct. I think we need to come back and talk about this trust something next week. All right? Thank you so much for all your comments and all your questions. Please send more of those questions to my email, which is going to be put on the display in the live chat session. Send your questions and your comments. Let's do well to attend to them. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time on today's mentorship session, and I believe that you learned a lot. I believe you learned a lot. And somebody says stomach is meant for food alone, but to keep trust and see. I'm sure you will explain what you meant by that. Thank you so much. If you want us to do this again, if you want us to continue talking about trust next week, please let me know in my email. Send me a mail on my email address. It will be displayed. God bless you. It's been an amazing time. Thank you so much from myself and the team in the studio here this Friday, this lovely Friday evening. It's bye for now. We are done. We are back. Woo. I thought I said bye-bye and we're still talking. I'm so sorry. I will write a book on that, okay? From commercial engagements to financial transactions to boardroom relationships to marriage, and all. I'm sure to create time and write something around it. And if you're good in book writing, please send me a mail to my email address. We will need your expertise. Thank you so much. God bless you. Sadia is laughing at me because I said bye for now and came back. But right now, have a lovely weekend and trust me. Well, if you want us to talk more about trust next week, send me a mail address. Sadia says we don't want to leave, but I have to go. I love you. And from me and the team in the studio, it's bye for now.